Good morning, people. It's Jo Gifford here, the Dexterous Diva. Lovely of you to join me. I'm having my good morning celery cupcakes, tog snapper. Morning, everyone. It's my tea break and Periscope sort of time again today. Hi, Laura. Awesome to have you on my scope. And hi, darling. And I really wanted just to do a quick chat about how my most recent clients have found me, because I think it's really interesting when you look back at how people have come to you and the path that they've sort of gone through to find you and your work. Morning, Rebecca. And it's kind of really a testament, it's a testament to what's working and what's not. And it's stuff that, you guys might want to think about and might want to take away. Morning, Debs. And most recently, in fact, in the last week alone, I've had a few emails that are really kind of like, I've heard your stuff, I've watched your stuff. Morning, Gillian. I've read your blogs, I've had your podcast, I've watched your scopes, I've, sort of watched all your stuff. I need to work with you now. And it's kind of had that sense of urgency about it, which is awesome. Morning, everybody. And usually it's a layering up of stuff. Okay, so they might find my blog first and they're reading the posts on there and join my free Facebook group and jump in there, interact and see how I work and how I kind of interact with people and nurture stuff in there. Or it might be that someone stumbled across a Periscope on Twitter and have then gone through that process. But there's a layering up of content, which is why it's really great to be on a few different platforms, to be interacting in a few different spaces, because your work is kind of like a layering approach. There's that sense of, I think it takes something like 10 sort of 10 times of being in someone's awareness or something like that. I'm sure somebody on here knows the stats more than I do. I can't recall it right now, but if someone is exposed to you, not in that way, but in a kind of, they're reading your stuff, they're hearing all about you over and over and over again, there's a final tipping point at which they go, right, I've got to work with you right now. In some instances, they might buy a kind of low-end package. And so I ran a special offer in July and August where I was doing people's opt-ins for them called Opt-in Unpacked. And in that offer, I was, it was a really low end way to work with me, but with amazing results. So every single client was absolutely blown away. And it was a $249 package in which I offered sort of 5 different ideas for opt-ins, 10 different blog post ideas to go with it, a sales page written up, a social media slammers to go with it. Thank you, Debs. Yeah, it was an amazing one, right? And everyone who got it was absolutely blown away. And from that package alone, I've had 2 or 3, yes, thank you, 7 touch points. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was driving me mad. I was like, 10 something, somebody help me. Thank you. Yes, so the touch points are kind of layered and layered and layered. So we pick, so 7 touch points. And so in my Opt-in Unpacked, I was giving extra value. So they still paid for something for me, yes, but it was a kind of lower end package than like a one-to-one mentoring thing or like a longer term investment. And without even pushing for more, people were kind of emailing back saying, I need you. Your work has blown me away. I need you, which is a really great way to start a relationship with somebody, obviously. So they've heard my work. They've maybe bought in something that's like a low sort of price point, piece of my work, and then have asked for more, which is amazing. Or, sort of some clients have started off with an ebook and then worked their way up to a kind of e-course and then gone for mentoring or kind of emailed me for more stuff. But in all recent scenarios, there's been a layering. And in the Facebook groups that I'm kind of interacting in, there's a real sense of kind of, showing up. Oh, thank you. You're such a sweetheart, because I rock. I'm really honoured. And I always feel weird kind of sharing this stuff because I don't want to be like, hey, check me out, I'm so awesome, because that's not the vibe at all. Like I think it's really interesting to hear and to learn from other people. What's a solopreneur? Awesome question. So a solopreneur is an entrepreneur who works on their own, who is a solo person in their business. I personally have a team now that work remotely, but essentially it's me and my biz. And so I tend to work and mentor other solopreneurs because I think there's a real unique set of skills and circumstances around working by yourself. Yeah, cool, awesome. Thanks for asking it, James. That's really cool. So yeah, I feel like it's really worth sharing. No, I'm in Cambridge, UK. in the UK, I'd love to come to Oz. It's on my list of places to visit with a book tour that I'm currently manifesting. So I think it's essential to kind of look at how your last stream of clients have found you. You know, have they come to you from one particular media? You know, is there a certain blog post that's really been working for you? In which case, how could you repurpose that and take that blog post to other platforms? Or has audio been really working for you? Thank you, Gillian, for sharing. In which case, you know, can you do more of that, and can you repurpose some of your audio? It's a really interesting experiment to sort of see where the last people, you know, have come from. And what's been amazing for me to see recently is that even when I haven't been advertising as such, you know, like a launch or services and stuff, thanks, Gillian, you know, I've been experiencing that sense of I need to work with you right now. And I think it's a combination of up-leveling myself, up-leveling, you know, my intentions, up-leveling. So, okay, Mel, so they come by your website, which you need to make it work harder for you. That's a brilliant example. Yeah, absolutely. So your website needs to work harder for you. And honestly, as you guys all know, you know, so for those of you who follow me and my work, I'm a solopreneur, yes, and I've grown my audience, who are like an amazing bunch of peeps in the Tribe of Diva. And you can check out my website, dexterousdiva.co.uk, dexterousdiva.co.uk. And there you'll find my blog and my podcast and my community, which you can absolutely jump into. And I've grown my audience now, not through, you know, the webinars and the free calls and all that sort of stuff, mainly because I live and work with chronic illnesses. So I have to work around my health, around my challenges, and around my family. And so for me, content that is evergreen, that, you know, has a longevity to it, is really where my focus is at. So that's where the podcasts and repurposing my Periscopes onto YouTube and, you know, making my blog posts and my guest blogs work hard for me has been really instrumental. And, you know, also using opt-ins and free challenges and adding value where I'm not leveraging, you know, sort of live calls and stuff, which is really energy draining. And I think it's a really powerful example, really, for people who might have families or who might have other kind of other challenges, be it health or otherwise, to know that you can leverage that stuff without going down the usual routes of webinars and live calls and free pitches and stuff like that, because I'm kind of proof that you don't have to. And it might have taken longer by not offering sort of free clarity calls for my mentoring stuff, by not doing all that stuff as much. I have done some, and by way of experiment, it was interesting. Sorry, I've got reminders popping up on my phone. But yeah, making content work harder for you is a really good strategy. It's a really powerful one. And, you know, Mel, so what have you been doing for your site to help it work harder for you? You know, what kind of content have you been putting up, and, you know, how's it working for you? And for anyone else, you know, do you get stuck with ideas for content, with knowing how to put yourself out there? And, you know, look at that 7 steps to people finding you. Thanks for that, Sarah, for helping me out with that one. Look at the 7 steps of how people might find you. Have you got a variety of stuff out there? Have you got some resources, some tools, some posts, some audio, some videos? You know, start layering that stuff up. And while it can feel really overwhelming at first, as a sudden flurry of hearts, thank you. Awesome. Mel, that's awesome. So you're catching up on your new blog post and working on a series. Perfect. And whilst it might seem really overwhelming to think, right, my gosh, I've got to write loads of blog posts and do loads of videos and periscopes and audios, start really small. And if you saw my scope from yesterday, I do my podcast in 20 minutes a week. And my podcast has now got over 91,500 downloads. My blog has huge traffic on it every month. And I'm doing it all in really small steps. So, for example, this Periscope, you know, for you guys watching now live is live, but for, you know, for you guys watching on the replay on YouTube, hello. So I'll be doing this as a replay. Yes, absolutely, Mel. If you check out my scope from yesterday, if you go to my YouTube channel, so go to my site and click on the YouTube, you'll see a Periscope on there from yesterday showing you my workflow of how I do my podcast in just 20 minutes a week. and I'm actually working on a free opt-in for that, you know, right now, to help share that, you know, sort of share that process with people, to show you how you can conserve your energy and your time, and to do stuff in really small steps. And you know, what I teach in my Blogging for Business bootcamp as well, is that even if you do one blog post a month, that it takes you 15 minutes a day to start working on it. You know, that one blog post can be really repurposed in so many times. You've scheduled catching up on my scopes for lunchtime. That's awesome. I'm really honoured about, you know, thank you so much. And that's a great example of scheduling in time to learn and to take stuff in. So, you know, this morning I did my miracle morning routine, and you know, that's my time where I kind of sit and absorb new information. And you know, I'm kind of doing it all day really, with podcasts and shows and stuff like that, but in the morning is my, you know, sort of really focusing on what I'm learning next time. So anyway, I'm really honoured to be on your schedule. So anyway, guys, do hop on over to my site. It's at dexterousdiva.co.uk, and you could also join my free 4-week mastermind, which encourages you to ignite your brilliance. So dexterousdiva.co.uk/brilliance, and do feel free to hop into my free Facebook group as well, and we can hang out in there. Awesome. Thanks for joining me on today's scope, guys. See you soon.